Day before Thanksgiving, hopefully you're off work and able to gamble all day long. There's tons of college basketball. You can see lines are on the move. Line movements are highlighted in green and red on this odds jam screen, which has all the markets, player props, really everything for any sport you want to look at. And again, I also say this all the time, but you never know when the best bets are going to occur. We are a day trader. As a sharp bettor, you're a day trader or you're an investor, right? You're constantly hunting through the market, following the line movements. There's millions of odds updating in real time on OddsJam every second. And what you're doing is you're trying to find an edge. The sportsbook's leg up on you is very simple. It's the VIG, a 4 to 5% spread that they charge. So let's just dive into my first play, which I think is incredible, which is Morgan State Loyola Marymount at minus 110 odds on WinBet. I hit the over 147. This game's at 3 p.m. Eastern. And again, I say this all the time too, but like wins, losses, I ride with you guys on all these plays. I'm obviously very into sports betting and the wins, the losses, the winning streaks, like full believer in getting through them, dealing with variance, and just seeing the profits stack up over time. So this play was just from the EV tool. And I ended up opening, I typically like to click into the bets so I can do a little research before I place them. And what I'm, considering betting is the over 147 on WinBet at minus 110. Pinnacle, sharpest sportsbook in the world, most efficient betting market. They're pricing this at minus 138. So, okay, Pinnacle and WinBet are super different. We're getting 28 cents of improvement from the sharpest sportsbook. We're thinking like a day trader. We're hunting for value. Do I care about these two schools, Loyola Marymount and Morgan State? No, I've never heard of these two schools. What you'll notice is, Caesars has the line a full point higher. They have the OU at 148. Sports Illustrated has the OU at 148, juiced towards the over. Then at 148.5, you have DraftKings, 1.5 points higher than WinBet. On 10bet, you have them setting the line at 148.5. Right, so we use all this data in the market. Then you have Bet Online, another very sharp offshore sports book, 2 full points higher. Right, they're at over 149, juiced towards the over. And then finally you have FanDuel, who has a line at 149.5, slightly juiced towards the under, in Hard Rock. So this is why sports betting is so fascinating, right? The market is fragmented. All these sports books set lines independently, so we can ruthlessly compare, lines between sports books and find these big discrepancies where it's clear WinBet is asleep at the wheel and their line is far too low, right? So this play was identified on the EV tool. So the purpose of the EV tool is to take these millions of odds, kind of updating in real time on OddsJam. Sports betting market's dynamic. I say this all the time. College football, weather forecast change, lines move. Sharp action comes in, lines move. Lineups change, lines move. You can imagine. Game gets a lot more windy. Okay, the team probably with the better rushing offense has a better chance to win the game because there will be less passing. Also, player props have to change. Like, everything in a game is correlated, so this market's dynamic. It's just like the stock market. So here, the opportunities on the over 147, we have one sportsbook asleep at the wheel. This is only possible because all these bookies have different odds, and I took advantage of it. And our profit margin is 2.84%, and we have tons of other videos, kind of breaking down the math behind sports betting. But it's really about thinking about sports betting like a day trader. And I'll be writing more on the OddsJam blog, tons of articles kind of about sports betting strategy, how to make money sports betting, stuff like that. So feel free to read over those, right? Another thing I always say is sports betting is a volume game. So the next play I went with is right here, Detroit Mercy, +3. We double click into the odds. Whoa, most sports books have either the +2.5 lines juiced towards Detroit Mercy, or they have the spread at 2. So we're getting a full point of improvement. And you may be like, who cares? Right? You're either taking Detroit Mercy or you're taking Charlotte, and that's absolutely false. If Charlotte wins the game by 2 points, I'm going to win my bet. People who bet Detroit Mercy +2 push. And these points make all the difference. When you're betting at minus 110 juice, that's the sportsbook's advantage on you. That is the sportsbook's business model. Saying, hey, you have to bet $11 to win back 10 on either the over or the under. The game always goes over or under. So literally, a monkey could go over, under, over, under. The game always goes over, under. You're always going to be 50%. To win at minus 110 juice, though, you have to win 52.38% of your spread total wagers at minus 110 juice, right? So these full points in value, that's what makes all the difference in turning your play from being square in a recreational bettor where you're only winning 50% of the time to winning 55% of the time, like a sharp, like a pro bettor, right? Who makes money. And again, this isn't a lock, I don't say that word. You can see brutal losing streaks we'll go through. We actually lost a lot yesterday. I've been tracking my profit and loss since the start of football season in this sheet. Yesterday, we got hammered. We got killed. SMU lost. Our parlay lost. Our next parlay lost. We lost 2 huge bets. Nets minus 8.5. And then the Lakers total, where's that? Over 228.5, in the Lakers game. Oh, this should be minus 2,000. There we go. So let's make sure these numbers line up. Yep, they do. And then this has to be this. Okay. Anyways, so there we go. It should be graded properly now. But long story short, it's just like you're going to go on brutal losing streaks, but when you have an edge, you win in the long run, right? So it's all about finding these plays with a positive expected return. So you can see here are my 2 plays, Detroit Mercy +3, over 147, Morgan State Loyola. Here are my stakes, and here's the profit margin in dollars. When I started out sports betting, I was betting $5-10, but when you're earning a 2% return on college basketball every day, that's 60% a month. So your bankroll can grow pretty quickly. And it's just like a dedication, placing a lot of bets, a consistency to beating the sports books. You're going to lose a few bets in a row. If there's a coin that's 53% to land on heads, still going to show up on tails 4 times in a row sometimes, right? So you got to stick with it. You got to place a lot of bets. Anyways, any questions you have, don't hesitate to reach out. Let's make money.